British nuclear testing started on the 3rd of October 1952 with Operation Hurricane in the Montebello Islands in Western Australia. The last test was on the 26th of November 1991 in Nevada. These veterans believe that they are guinea pigs, part of an experiment which has been covered up, lasting nearly 70 years. We will explore the evidence. On the 20th of May 1953, the Defence Research Policy Committee discussed how troops would be affected by the blasts. It said, "The Army must discover the detailed effects of various types of explosion on equipment, stores, and men with and without various types of protection." In 1955, Prime Minister Anthony Eden was warned that if scientists were to build an H-bomb, it could damage troops' DNA. A letter headed 10 Downing Street, dated 14th of November, says the Prime Minister saw the report from Sir Harold Himsworth about the report of the committee considering the genetic effects of nuclear radiation. His comment was, "A pity, but we cannot help it." In a draft press statement in 1956 regarding the biological investigations at atomic bomb tests in Australia, it states that the United Kingdom and Australian governments have agreed that investigation of biological effects of atomic weapons shall be carried out during the trials at Maralinga in 1956. The possible effects of the ingestion of radioactive fallout by men and animals will be among the subjects studied. Successive UK governments since the Eden administration have denied any responsibility, promising to help the veterans and their families when in opposition, then denying them when in office. Millions of pounds have been spent fighting the veterans. No correct figure has been given by the UK government. Different figures are supplied each time it is asked for. The current range is between £2.6 million to £7 million. The UK government relies on an NRPB study which is flawed. Only 85% of the participants are in the study. Many of the figures are estimates, such as for the Buffalo Indoctrine Force, based on a freestanding neutron dosimeters, as no individual dosimeter readings are recorded. There have been many parliamentary debates. The private members' bill, brought by Bob Clay, was denied. This would have allowed compensation for the veterans. Many debates are not answered correctly, or they referred to the flawed NRPB study. The Redford inquiry found that human tissue was removed without consent from babies and children under the age of 6. Sometimes the femur was supplied, but other parts of the body were also included, such as the sternum, tibia, or skull, or pelvis. One nuclear veteran's brain was also removed without consent for research purposes. The 2007 Massey study has been ignored by the UK government, despite the findings that DNA damage had been sustained by the participants. It found that translocation frequency is 3 times higher in the veterans, yet the study is not used by the UK government. The Advisory Military Subcommittee has denied the veterans a medal, claiming that the risk and rigour aspects for the medal were not met. Yet drone operators in the UK have been given a medal for their service. The committee met 4 times. Each time a full board was not present. No testimony from the nuclear veterans was asked for, but the MOD were present at every meeting. The UK government has denied hundreds of war pension claims fighting the veterans, including Shirley Denson, whose claim was eventually accepted after many years of fighting. The report on an independent inquiry in government policy in compensation for cancer and other illnesses in 2000 stated that the opinion that the test had no detectable adverse effect upon the life expectancy of servicemen was rather surprising and remarkable, because the NRPB ICRF statisticians did not in fact publish an analysis of the men's lifespans. It also suggests that the political figureheads at the MOD have tended to gild the statistical lily, and they have insisted that the statistics were thoroughly peer-reviewed. But when they are challenged by independent researchers that the study is not scientifically robust enough, they have been greeted with discernible contempt. A study on the children of the nuclear veterans has been denied on many occasions. The latest response states that there is no plans to conduct research into the health conditions of nuclear test veteran descendants. This response was in 2021. Documents relating to the testing program have been removed from the National Archives for 2 years and are still under a security review. These are the AB and ES files. The MOD update in July 2021 states that there are 38,000 files that are being released back, but there is no detail on these files, what has been released, or even if they have been released. Evidence provided shows that the tests were experiments and that the suits, sweat rags and headgear were not adequate, and that contamination occurred during the tests. Men were used as test subjects. How else could these outcomes be identified? The US government admitted their failings and created the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, RECA. It pays out to the participants of atmospheric nuclear tests if they have developed cancer on a specific list. It also pays out to the UK servicemen who took part in Operation Dominic. Why is the UK treating their test participants different? Operation Grapple and Operation Dominic were both conducted on Christmas Island. Why should the US pay compensation for UK servicemen? It is because the UK signed a deal with the US to take responsibility for the participants at Operation Dominic, and they do. The UK government should be ashamed. On inquiry, the MOD state that the RECA programme does not translate into the UK system, as the UK veterans get free priority NHS treatment. We know that this is definitely not the case. The NHS is not free. We all pay for the NHS. And the veterans do not get priority. The RECA programme pays a lump sum of $75,000. How does this not translate? The UK government refuses to formally recognise these servicemen. Where are the morals of these civil servants? The AMSC chairman, Dr. Charles Winstanley, stated that service in an austere environment did not, of itself, amount to the rigour of deserving a medal. Perhaps Dr. Winstanley should be forced to watch a nuclear bomb and feel the heat, feel the blast. Then he might think differently. Why the denial? Why the secrecy? Documents are still sealed. Documents relating to AWE, test veterans and radiation dosages are sealed until 2041. Freedom of information requests are now responded to as vexatious. Yet thousands of documents remain sealed. How can there be no further value in continuing the correspondence? The British nuclear testing programme is not taught in schools. It is not part of the curriculum. Why not? Only after discussions with lab rats did the Welsh Government add a project plan to the Welsh Baccalaureate. The whole testing programme has been removed from the history books in the UK. It is the biggest cover-up in UK history. Successive UK governments have attempted to airbrush it from history. In the Royal Courts of Justice, Mr. Justice Foskett stated that a small proportion of the documents disclosed by the MOD in the case of AB and others that 12,000 documents had been disclosed, when the AWE had over 190,000 documents alone, and that more documents relating to issues of breach of duty exist, but had not been disclosed. Delay, deny until they die is what the veterans claim. They will wait until every one of us is dead before they admit what they did. Despite reports produced by independent organisations such as CND, the UK government still deny any responsibility. The effects of ionising radiation are now well documented. The DNA damage to the New Zealand test veterans shown in the Massey study is well documented. It is time to right the injustice. Sir Keir Starmer has promised to correct this injustice. The Labour Party are fully committed to our campaign. The terrible decision to not award a medal was politically wrong and morally completely wrong. The Prime Minister must now meet you, hear what you have to say and do what it takes. We will support you all the way, said Keir Starmer. The UK government will not sign the Treaty of Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, the TPNW, which came into force in January 2021. Instead, they will be increasing their stockpile. The TPNW has specific articles for the help to victims of nuclear testing. The UK government stated, "We will not sign the treaty which has been published. As we have previously made clear, we do not believe that this treaty will bring us closer to a world without nuclear weapons. This treaty fails to address the key issues that must be first overcome to achieve longer lasting global nuclear disarmament. But the treaty will help the victims of nuclear testing, but the UK government will not sign it." We all know that nuclear testing was wrong. We would not do it today. It has affected all of us. The nuclear testing legacy is the cruelest environmental injustice. Downwinders, veterans, civilians, scientists, and the indigenous people have all been affected by these tests. So do the right thing, Prime Minister. Formally recognise these veterans. Set up a RECA-style programme. Sign the TPNW. Meet with them and listen to their stories. Be the first testing country to sign the TPNW. Have the courage to lead the way. Honour the veterans in the 70th anniversary year. Look them in the eye. This presentation was brought to you by Labrats International and Dominic RECA UK in association with a Medal for Heroes, a Daily Mirror campaign. Please visit www.labrats.international, www.dominicreca.uk or damned.mirror.co.uk for further details. Please share this with your communities. This presentation is in memory of Sandy Hearn, who sadly passed away on the 5th of August 2021 and did so much for the veterans and their families. We will continue the fight in her memory.